Larry lied with the effortless grace of a man who sold flooded sedans for a living. In his head, from the war, Vietnam, he saved a whole platoon. If you hit him, the vibration might set off the plate. And, well, let's just say the legal and medical bills will be the least of your worries. He's a certified, highly unstable war hero. He could go off at any second. The mountain looked at Jack. Jack, catching onto Larry's ruse with lightning speed, suddenly stood very still, stiffened his spine, and gave a vacant, 1,000-yard stare into the middle distance, as if he were seeing ghosts in the jungle. I didn't know. The mountain stammered, his bravado evaporating. He looked at the war hero Jack, then at the fearless Stanley. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. Just don't let him get agitated. I'm a peaceful guy. As the mountain and his friend scrambled out the door, the pub erupted in cheers. Jack, you were fantastic, Chrissy cried, hugging him so hard he nearly lost his breath. You were very brave, Jack, Jonna added, a genuine, glowing smile returning to her face. She reached out and squeezed his hand. Jack basked in the glory for a moment, then looked at Stanley, who was currently trying to use a glass of brandy to soothe a lingering toothache. Thanks, Mr. Roper, Jack said, his voice returning to its normal register. Don't thank me, Stanley grumbled, not looking up. Just pay your rent on time, and tell your friend Larry that if he ever tries to sell me a car with a patriotic discount again, I'm calling the Better Business Bureau and the police. Jack laughed, the tension finally leaving his body. He wasn't really a war hero, and he didn't have a steel plate in his head. But as he sat there with Jeanette and Chrissy, he realized that bravery wasn't about the absence of fear. It was about standing up even when your legs were shaking and having friends who were willing to tell the most outrageous lies just to keep you in one piece. Chapter 4: The Financial Fugitives. Life in apartment 201 was never far from a total financial catastrophe. The trio lived on a razor's edge, balancing tips from the pub, floral sales from the shop, and Jack's meager earnings from various part-time culinary gigs. This month, however, they had been exceptionally diligent. They had a plain white envelope. On the front, in Jeanette's neatest, most authoritative handwriting, was the word rent. Inside was $100 in cash, the hard-won fruit of their collective labor for the past BBN weeks. It sat on the wooden shelf by the front door, a sacred, terrifying object. Where is it? Jeanette's voice was a low, dangerous hiss that made the hair on Jack's neck stand up. Where's what? The remote, the salt, my dignity. Jack high, emerging from the kitchen, VJ-mat wooden spoon in hand. The envelope, Jack. The rent money. It was right here this morning. I checked it before I left for the flower shop. I even smelled the ink on the bills. Jack walked over to the shelf. It was empty. The small transistor radio that usually sat beside it was also missing. Oh no, Jack whispered, his stomach dropping. We've been robbed. In broad daylight. Robbed. Chrissy cried, running out of her room. Vijay mat towel wrapped her on her head. But the door was locked, I think. Or did I leave it open for the guy who was supposed to check the meter? Or the mailman? Or that nice bird that was pecking at the window? Panic, cold and sharp, seized the apartment. They checked under every sofa cushion. They checked the vegetable crisper in the fridge. They even checked inside Jack's gym bag, which was a desperate move by any standard. Nothing. This is it, Jean Enoy, sitting down heavily on the couch. We're out. Roper is going to throw us into the street. Vijay, nothing but our suitcases and Jack's collection of exotic spices. We're going to be living in a refrigerator box on the beach. Maybe I can get a loan, Jack suggested, trying to spark a glimmer of hiving. The university has a financial aid office. I'll go there. I'll tell them a sob story that would make a statue weep. Tell them you have high weak, starving, helpless girls depending on you for their very survival, Chrissy suggested. And maybe hint that one of us is, expecting. I don't angle that'll work, Chrissy. I'm a student. Kang Phi Mat's soap opera lead, Jack Noy, already grabbing his jacket and heading for the door. Jack's trip to the university was a masterpiece of bureaucratic frustration. He sat across from a Mr. Travers, a man who possessed the personality of a damp sponge and seemed more interested in Jack's unconventional living arrangements than his actual financial need. You live Vijay. Hi, girls. Mr. Tripper. Mr. Travers high, his spectacles slipping down his nose as he peered at the application. Yes, sir. But it's very professional. We're roommates, like siblings. Very, very broke siblings who happen to be unrelated. And your father, what does he do for a living? He's a minister, Jack Noy, hoping the religious connection would lend him some moral weight. And his annual income? About $7,000 a year. He's wrecked humble, verrect poor. Mr. Travers Th. Die. That sound of profound boredom. I'm sorry, Mr. Tripper. Theo guidelines and Kang Phi Mat hardship case. And Chwele, average. Vachung Te Kang Fund average. Average. Average Kang Trivnai $300. Cho Mat landlord Vijay a heart of flint. Average Kang Angun Nai Stanley Roper Thay E Koa TSI Nay. Jack Kilai apartment 201 Hon Ton Bai. Ten Kang Triben CT Hun Ki and I Vang. CNH Sat Ka GGCGANN Nat VNC Quan Git GGN. Hoigi. Angwichwan and LDT Qua CCN have acquived H Navy Trum LA Mat VA Lia Bo Boheim Dan Dong Vang VA. Keng I D Ba Tremela Trong Mat Chink Fong BK Gichi. Tanthua Na Tran Mat Chink KMK on H Mat Kan Siake Kenkoa. VNC Quan Noi. GPP Q and SX Talai. Loun TSI New Mun Trin I Hoke Triven CSBC. Hey Angle Rom Mat Ko Chuyun. Hang Tinhin. Ko LA Saithit. Chrissy Thutthit. Ea chai ntm to the ab teen teethen. Chung te thak se angi can